Your real estate agent is going to be one of the most important people in your home buying journey. They'll help you find homes, navigate negotiations, interpret contracts, and guide you through one of the most complex financial transactions of your life. And yet, most first time buyers hire the first agent they talk to, usually a friend of a friend, without asking a single qualifying question. That's a risk you don't need to take. My name is Robert Porto, and I'm a home loan advisor. My team and I have helped hundreds of families across the nation navigate the home buying process while making it stress free. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly what to ask when you're interviewing a real estate agent so you can find someone who actually knows what they're doing and has your best interest at heart and also is a right fit for your specific situation. Let's get into it. So, why should you interview more than one agent? Well, just like shopping for a lender, you should talk to more than one agent before you commit. See, most buyers don't do this, and most buyers also end up with an agent who's just okay rather than one who's generally great. Now, here's the thing, not all agents are created equal. Some specialize in listings, meaning they represent sellers. And buyer representation is almost an afterthought for them. Some are part time agents who sell a handful of homes a year. Others are seasoned buyers agents who have negotiated hundreds of deals and know exactly how to protect your interests. The agent you hire is also going to be someone you spend a lot of time with. You'll be texting, calling, touring homes, and making big decisions together. Chemistry and communication style matter just as much as credentials. So interview at least two or three agents before deciding. Come prepared with questions and pay close attention not just to what they say, but how they say it. Confidence, clarity, and transparency are the qualities you're looking for. Question number one, how long have you been in real estate? And how many buyers did you work with last year? Experience matters, but volume matters too. An agent who has been in the business for 10 plus years, but only closes 5 or 6 deals a year, may not have the active market knowledge that a busier agent has. You want someone who is working deals consistently because that's how they stay sharp on pricing trends, contract nuances, and negotiation tactics. So ask specifically, how many buyer transactions did you close in the last 12 months? A solid buyer's agent in most markets is closing somewhere between 12 and 30 buyer transactions a year. That means they're active, they know the market, and they have real recent experience navigating the process you're about to walk through. Also ask, what percentage of your business is representing buyers versus sellers? If someone mainly lists homes for sellers, the mindset and skill set may not be optimized for buyer representation. Question number two, do you specialize in the areas and price range I'm looking for? Real estate is hyperlocal. An agent who knows one city or neighborhood inside and out is going to be more valuable to you than a generalist who covers a wide geographic area without deep knowledge. So ask, how familiar are you with the specific neighborhoods I'm considering? And have you closed deals there recently? A great agent should be able to tell you things like typical days on market, how often homes sell above asking price, what the inventory situation looks like right now, or what makes one street more desirable than another. If your answers are vague or generic, that's a signal they may not have the local depth they need. Price range matters too. An agent who primarily works in the luxury market may not have strong relationships with the types of sellers and listing agents you'll be competing against in a more moderate price range, and vice versa. Question three, how will you communicate with me and how quickly do you respond? This is one of the most underrated questions on this list and one of the most telling. In a competitive market, the difference between getting a home and losing it can come down to hours. If your agent is slow to respond to your text or takes a day to return a call, you could miss out on a home you love because someone else's agent moved faster. So ask directly, what is your preferred method of communication and what is your typical response time? And then test it. How quickly did they respond when you first reached out to schedule this interview? That's probably a preview of what working with them will feel like. Also ask, are you a solo agent or do you work with a team? Some agents have a team or assistants and buyer specialists, which can be great for responsiveness. Others work solo, which can mean a more personal experience, but potentially slower turnaround during busy periods. Neither is automatically better, but it's worth knowing what you're signing up for. Question four, how do you help buyers win in a competitive market? If you're buying in a market where good homes get multiple offers quickly, and a lot of markets are still like that, you need an agent who knows how to make your offer stand out. So ask, what strategies do you use to help buyers compete successfully? A great agent should be able to speak specifically about things like how they price offers based on recent comparable sales, whether and when to use an escalation clause, how they communicate with listing agents to understand what the seller actually values, how they structure contingencies to be competitive without leaving you unprotected, whether they recommend things like an appraisal gap coverage or flexing closing timelines. If an agent's answer to this question is just, we offer over asking price, that is a red flag. A skilled buyer's agent has a full toolkit, not just one lever. Question 5. How are you compensated and what am I agreeing to when I sign a buyer's agreement? This has become an increasingly important question following recent changes in how real estate compensation is structured. Traditionally, the seller paid both agents' commissions out of the sale proceeds. That has changed. And now buyers may be asked to sign a buyer's representation agreement that spells out how and how much their agents will be compensated. So ask, how are you compensated and will I be responsible for any portion of your commission if the seller doesn't offer to cover it? A transparent agent will walk you through this clearly. You should understand exactly what you're agreeing to before you sign anything. Ask what happens if you decide to tour a home independently and then decide to buy it. Are you still bound by that agreement? How long does that agreement last? Is there an exit clause if things aren't working out? This is your right as a buyer. Confident, ethical agent will welcome these questions, not dodge them. Quick pause. If this is helping you feel more prepared heading into the home buying process, hit that subscribe button. We put out new videos every week covering everything first time buyers like you need to know in plain English, no jargon, no fluff. All right, let's keep going. Question 6. Can you walk me through what the home buying process looks like with you? This question is deceptively simple and incredibly revealing. Ask your agent to walk you through the entire process from start to finish, as if you were a first time buyer who knew nothing. Then listen carefully. Are they clear and organized? Do they explain things in plain language or hide behind jargon? Do they cover the steps you've already learned about pre approval, making an offer, contingencies, inspection, underwriting, closing, or do they skip over important details? Best agents are also great educators. They don't just open the doors and submit offers. They make sure you understand every decision you're making and why. If an agent can clearly explain the process in a way that makes sense to you, that's going to be a problem when you're under contract and need answers fast. Question 7. What happens if I'm not happy with how things are going? This is a question most buyers feel uncomfortable asking, but it's one of the most important ones. Real estate agent relationships don't always work out. Maybe the communication isn't what you hope for. Maybe they're not finding you the right homes. Maybe you just don't feel like they're fighting for you. So ask upfront, if I'm not satisfied with how things are going, what does that process look like? A good agent will be confident enough to answer this directly. They might say something like, if things aren't working out, let's have a conversation first. And if it's still not a fit, we can part ways professionally. That kind of answer shows integrity and self awareness. An agent who gets defensive or vague about this question is essentially telling you they're not confident in their own ability to keep you happy. That's worth paying attention to. Question 8. Can you provide references from recent buyer clients? Never be afraid to ask for references. A great agent will have them ready and be happy to provide them. An agent who hesitates, makes excuses, or only offers to show you written testimonials without connecting you to actual client, that's a yellow flag. When you speak with references, ask specific questions. How responsive was the agent throughout the process? Did you feel like they had your best interests in mind? Were there any surprises and how did the agent handle them? Would you use them again? Online reviews on Google or Zillow can also tell you a lot. So look for patterns, not just a star rating. If multiple reviews mention slow communication or feeling rushed, take that seriously. Recap and next steps. Let's bring it all together. Here are the questions to ask when interviewing a real estate agent. 1. How long have you been in real estate and how many buyers did you work with in the last year? 2. Do you specialize in the areas and price range I'm looking in? 3. How will you communicate with me and how quickly do you typically respond? 4. How do you help buyers win in a competitive market? 5. How are you compensated and what exactly am I agreeing to when I sign a buyer's agreement? 6. Can you walk me through what the home buying process looks like working with you? 7. What happens if I'm not happy with how things are going? 8. Can you provide references from recent buyer clients? Interview at least 2 or 3 agents before you decide. Pay attention to how they communicate, how prepared they are, and whether they make you feel informed and confident or rushed and confused. The right agent is out there and taking an extra week to find him is absolutely worth it. Drop a comment below. Are you currently looking for an agent or do you already have one that you love? I read every comment and I'm happy to help point you in the right direction. And if you haven't subscribed yet, we post videos every week to help first time buyers like you get through the process with confidence. See you in the next one.